Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all of the potential curriculum that I have been brainstorming for my daughter's 6th grade homeschool year. If you're new to my channel, my name is Nicole. I'm a homeschooling mom with 2 kids at home. I have a daughter who's 10 and in 5th grade, and my son is 4 and just hanging out. These types of videos have been so helpful for me in the past, especially because it's not just one curriculum that someone's talking about, it's several different curriculums. So I really hope this video is helpful for you guys as well. Now, I would like to preface this video by saying 2 things. One, my daughter is currently in 5th grade and a young 5th grader. Her birth date is 6 weeks from the cutoff, so keep that in mind. The second thing is that as of right now, February 2025, these are the potential curriculum picks that I'm looking at. Now, I am researching all the time. I'm always finding things, so I may end up picking something that isn't on the list, just as a disclaimer, but right now, these are the options that I'm looking at. All right, let's start with language arts. That seems to be the biggest topic. Let's start with the first option, which is Mostas Press Literature. We are currently just starting level 5 choral, which is this book. Please keep in mind that this curriculum has been said to be potentially a year ahead academically. So if we do this next year, we will probably be halfway through this level. Then that means 6th grade will finish the rest of choral and continue on to Pearl, which is level 6. Now, if you had asked me at the end of December what my literature curriculum pick was, I would have told you for sure, without a doubt, Mostas. However, we did a Martin Luther King Jr. unit in January where we read a book and we really delved deep into the topic, and we had some of the best discussions. My daughter grew so much as a person. Her empathy, understanding, compassion was so amplified, and I could see her really understand what was going on, really understand these issues, and it really inspired me to bring more literature studies into my home. Now, the main reason I haven't really done many book studies in my homeschool is because I felt like a lot of them are very surface level and a lot of busy work, very simple, comprehensive questions, just basic vocabulary testing. And I just didn't find that much depth in a lot of what I was looking for. So I just haven't done them. But there are so many books that I want to read with my daughter. Some of the topics are heavier, some of them are classics that I want us to just get in. I want us to learn the background of the book, understand what's happening in the time period, in this setting. I want us to discuss those issues in depth and get those lessons and morals that those books are trying to teach us. That's what I love about Mostas. They're shorter stories, but they're teaching character building. They're teaching you about morality. They're teaching you so many wonderful lessons. But I cannot dispute the value of me going over a heavier topic book. Like, for example, some of the books I have on my list for next year is Number of the Stars, The Mighty Miss Malone, A Long Walk to Water, just to name a few. I also want to read Anne of Green Gables and Little Women. Those are more classic. My goal is to incorporate these literature studies in a meaningful and fun way with my daughter. So I'm actually going to do another video in a little bit after I've done more research into specific unit studies, where I found them, what they are, what I like about them. So be watching out for that if that's something you're interested in. However, the one I do want to talk to you about right now that I'm seriously looking into is Prairie and Pine Curriculum. This is a company that creates literature-based unit studies. They have one for elementary, several for middle school, and several for high school, and it looks like there's a lot more in the works. So what I really like about this is they take books like I Am Mahala and When the Stars Are Scattered, and let me read you a little bit. So for example, the book I Am Mahala, the Young Readers Edition, they have a unit called Finding Your Voice. In this, they discuss empowerment and activism, global education injustices, advocacy, research, and critical thinking. And in the meantime, you're learning about Pakistan, including the food they eat. You're learning about the Declaration of Human Rights. You're learning about the Taliban. You're learning about Afghan art. There's documentaries included and poetry. Now, the next unit that I'm considering is with the book When the Stars Are Scattered. This is called Finding Your Way. Now, if you don't know, this book is about 2 brothers that were displaced by the Somalia Civil War. So this discusses resilience and hope, empathy and understanding. You're going to learn about refugee camps. You're going to learn about Somalia. You're going to have musical connections, go over refugee art analysis. So not only are these units going to go over the literature components, they're also going to delve deep into the other topics involved in the books, which is what I'm looking for. Now, I don't know, Prairie and Pine Middle School is a little too much for where my daughter is because, as I said, she will be a young 6th grader, but I will keep you posted. All right, so let's move on to writing. If you've been around my channel for a while, you know I love writing and rhetoric. My daughter is currently in writing and rhetoric level 2, which she'll be finishing this semester. Each book is one semester. So next year, theoretically, if I chose writing and rhetoric, she would be doing level 3 and 4. However, I've heard that level 3 goes over outlining and it's kind of difficult. So another YouTuber that I watch, Homeschool Knockouts, she also did writing and rhetoric with all of her sons, and she's also a secular homeschooler. She has advised to use a beginning outlining program that you can get from Amazon in conjunction with level 3 of writing and rhetoric. In addition, she has said that she did not like level 4 of writing and rhetoric and she skipped it, alluding to it being more of a reading comprehension program. I'm probably going to buy a cheap teacher edition of level 4 to see if I want to do it, or else I'll just skip to level 5. So that's one option. One of the other options I have is last year I had bought this curriculum called Share Your Story. It goes from kindergarten to 5th grade. It's about $30. This book takes your child through writing a story, and it has a lot of fun videos that go along with the lessons. These lessons are colorful, they are well laid out, and like I said, they have videos with them that are funny and very helpful. So my daughter ended up writing a story and she almost finished it. However, then she decided she wanted to change the story to make it longer and more involved. And then she ended up getting tired and giving up. So I have just been waiting for the moment when she says, "Hey mom, I want to write a story again," which I know is coming. And I know this 5th grade level will be appropriate for 6th grade, even 7th grade. It has so much value. And I'm telling you guys, if your kids ever say, "I want to write a story," run and buy this curriculum. It is so worth your money. Not only that, they give you a book to put your final draft in to submit to them, and they choose a few to publish every single year. It's so cool. So that's definitely on our list. Now there's other 2 options that I'm looking at. In Mostos, I do get a lot of her creative writing in. However, I'm not sure where I'm going next year. I don't know how much I'm going to be using Mostos. So I am looking at 2 other options and I'm going to read them. One is called Creative Writing Skills. It's from Amazon. It's grades 3 to 7. It helps develop language, skills, and structure. The second one I'm looking at is Secrets of Storytelling, and this is for ages 8 to 12, and this is a fun workbook to help kids break down and write a story. So those are the writing options I'm looking at right now. Okay, so let's go into vocabulary. If you've been around here for a while, you know I love vocabulary, and I'm currently using 3 different vocabulary curriculums. Now, I don't know if I always want to be using 3. I just find value in each one of them. And to me, vocabulary is such an important part of ELA that I'm just trying to make sure I cover all my bases. But here's the potential options for next year. So the first one is Spectrum Vocabulary. We're currently in level 5. We won't finish it this year. So we'll either continue on to level 5 next year and then move up to level 6 probably halfway through the year. That's an option. The next option is Word Ladders. We'll be halfway through this by the end of the year, so we may finish this up in the 6th grade year. The next option is one that we're currently using, and that is Daily Academic Vocabulary. We are only on week 9, I believe. So we will definitely be carrying this over to next year if we use it, and then move on to level 6 probably halfway through the year. There are a lot of things that I like about this curriculum. It gives you about 4 to 5 vocabulary words a week that are all semi-connected, and it gives you a little blurb every day to introduce a vocabulary word to your child, along with some little activities to go along with it after. So this is a curriculum that we have been enjoying, and it's on the list for sure. Now the next curriculum that I'm looking at is by Zahner Blaser, and it's called Word Wisdom, and I'm specifically looking at level 6. Now what I really like about this curriculum is you read a passage and you figure out the vocabulary using context clue strategy. I've seen a lot of research that says that kids learn vocabulary best when they read it in context. So that is very prevalent in this Zahner Blaser curriculum I'm looking at. Other things that it does is, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. So after you have found the vocabulary using context clue strategy, then you use the words correctly in a sentence, then you apply what you've learned by relating the meanings. So I feel like this kind of takes what daily vocabulary does, but amps it up a level. There's also one more curriculum I'm looking at. This is called Daily Doodle Vocabulary, found on Teacher Pay Teachers. Now what I like about this versus grades 5 to 8 is that I've also heard that when children doodle in regards to vocabulary, they tend to be able to absorb vocabulary words and their definitions better. So my daughter does love art. She does love drawing. So I thought this might be a fun one. What I like about this daily doodle vocabulary program is that every day you doodle a vocabulary word and then you have an activity that goes along with it. And at the end of the week, you're going to use all the vocabulary words that you've used in a paragraph. So I really like that one too. So many vocabulary options. I really hope I don't end up picking them all. Knowing me, that is a possibility. Okay, let's go on to spelling. If you watched my January update video, you know that we've made some changes, but we started the year using Spelling UC level F. My daughter just finished part 1. Then she asked for a little change, so we did change that. However, I really like this curriculum. I like copywork and dictation as my main spelling component. I have done a lot of spelling curriculum with my daughter, and I have found the most growth in her spelling with copywork and dictation. So it's something I like. Plus, I like the chunking aspect that this has. I feel like that also helps imprint those words in my daughter's mind. We did start something else, which is an option for next year as well. So if we do this next year, we'll either finish level F, or if we already finished it, we'll move on to level G, which is the last level in Spelling UC curriculum. So what we are currently using is Modern Speller 2, and I used this last year as well. What I really like about this curriculum is it was developed in 1920. That means that not only are a lot of these words not very commonly used in modern English, giving my daughter more variety in her vocabulary, the words are more complex. This is just a book divided into years, first year through 6th year, and it's split into first half and second half. So you can see we're doing 5th year, second half. So what this is it gives you different paragraphs for the kids to do copywork one day and dictation the second day. These paragraphs are mainly famous quotes, or it's poetry, that sort of stuff. So what my daughter has said she really likes about this curriculum is that they have words down here which they feel are the more difficult words broken up in a way for kids to be able to break them down and remember them when they're doing dictation. Another thing I like is that the paragraphs are a lot smaller than Spelling UC, and like I said, you're getting more complex words and more usage of words that are less commonly known. So that is a possibility. Modern Speller is free online, or I think you could pay $10 on Amazon and get a printed version as well. The last spelling curriculum I'm looking at is from Zaner Blaser. It's called Spelling Connection, specifically level 6. What I like about this is the spelling words are being connected to their vocabulary. In addition, at the end of the week, they also have you edit a paragraph. I have my daughter edit a paragraph every week. We have a curriculum that we got from Teacher Pay Teachers. So this could potentially be nice. You have your spelling, vocabulary, and editing paragraph all in one. Now, it doesn't have the copywork and dictation that I really like, but it's definitely still an option. All right, so let's talk about grammar. So I had thought we would be carrying Beowulf grammar into 6th grade, but turns out we're gonna be finishing it this year in 5th grade. So I have 3 options. One is Fix It Grammar. I'm not sure if I would put her in level 1 or level 2. The second option I'm looking at is Evan Moore, Grammar and Punctuation Skills Sharpeners, level 6. What I like about this is in Beowulf Grammar, she's learned all the parts of speech over the last 2 years. And the Skills Sharpener curriculum will help her review everything that she's learned in Beowulf and cement those parts of speech. Hopefully. The third and last option that I'm looking at currently is Spectrum Language Arts, which is their grammar curriculum. Now, if you've watched my videos before, you know I used level 4 in the 4th grade and I didn't love it. However, they've revamped it, added color, and added video lessons, and it's very affordable. So that's definitely a contender now. All right, let's move on to poetry. So we do about 5 to 10 minutes of poetry reading every school day. So I do like to make sure my daughter has a variety. Now this year we used Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein. My daughter loved this, loved his humor, loved the graphics. She really enjoyed it. So I might be getting another book by this author called A Light in the Attic, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about. Another one that we did this year was by National Geographic, Animal Poetry. These poems can be short and long with beautiful graphics. My daughter really enjoyed this one. And we haven't gotten through all of it, believe it or not. National Geographic has another book called Nature Poetry, which we may be getting as well. Now, because my daughter's going into 6th grade, I did want to introduce her to different famous poets. So I am looking at a young reader version of William Shakespeare, and I did get a couple poetry books from the library to check out to see if it's something my daughter would like. The first one is Poetry for Young Readers, Robert Frost, and also Poetry for Young Readers, Emily Dickinson. All right, guys, let's go on to math. So currently my daughter is in Singapore Primary Mathematics Standard Edition Level 5A, which she will be finishing this year. So next year she would be starting Level 5B. We use this program in conjunction with Wisdom Wonder video subscription, which is amazing. I have a full review of level 4 of primary mathematics along with this video subscription if you're interested in seeing how it works, but it's wonderful. Wisdom Wonder project videos have changed the dynamic between me and my daughter during math, have changed the way my daughter learns math, so I don't want to give it up. However, for level 6, Wisdom Wonder Project moves from Primary Mathematics Standard Edition to the Singapore Dimensions, which I've heard mixed feelings about. But here's the thing, I want my daughter to ultimately end up with Denison pre-algebra. So she would be done with 5B by midway through her 6th grade year. So I'm either going to put her in Denison algebra then, or because I've heard that sometimes it's better to start kids in pre-algebra in 7th grade, maybe she'll do Dimension 6A with Wisdom Wonder Project, or the other option is I teach my daughter Primary Mathematics Standard Edition 6A with no video subscription, and that doesn't sound like very much fun to me. So that's where we are with math. Okay, let's go on to science. This year, I've been using the Good and the Beautiful science units. There's a lot of things I like and things I don't like. I like the unit studies. We like to have multiple focuses of science throughout the year versus 1 or 2 concentrated areas. As my daughter gets older, she will have to start focusing more on biology and chemistry and physics. But I think for at least this middle school years, we can still do more unit study style before delving into those higher end subjects in more depth in high school. So while The Good and the Beautiful is colorful, it has a great student journal, it has videos, it also has videos of the experiments if you happen to forget the things. It doesn't go very deep. Sometimes I feel like there's just not enough information. Sometimes it feels like there's too much and not presented in a way that's easily understood by children. But it does hit a lot of boxes. So that's definitely an option. The other options that I'm looking at is one, Waldock Way. I've used a lot of her curriculum, really liked it. So we may be using some of her science units. Another option is Blossom and Root, specifically either level 4, which is for ages 9 to 12. It's human anatomy and physics. Although my daughter really isn't interested in physics at this time, I wish I could just buy their human anatomy. It is $56 for their entire year of science, and at this point they don't sell each subject. I wish they did, but that's an option. Also, I'm looking at Blossom and Roots level 6 that should be coming out right now or just came out. That is chemistry, biology, and ecology. I'm definitely going to be doing another science video once I've honed in on the subjects that my daughter is interested in covering next year. I'll go over what units I found, where I found them, what resources, that sort of stuff. So be looking out for that video if that's something you're interested in. All right, for geography, I recently posted a world geography video going over the curriculum and resources that we're using for the 5th grade and my plans for 6th and 7th grade. In my recent January update, I also included a few additions that I made to that geography curriculum if you're interested. However, I'm most definitely going to be doing a world geography 2 video because I envision that at the end of 5th grade, we're going to know which resources work for us, which don't, what styles my daughter connects to and doesn't. Maybe she needs more video, maybe she needs more hands-on activities. So I'm going to be preparing level 6 at some point here in the future, maybe the next several months. So I'll keep you posted. That will include all the countries and continents I'm planning on covering for 6th grade year. That will also include curriculum changes, resources changes, additions that I'm going to be doing for her 6th grade world geography. All right, let's talk about electives. The first one I want to talk about is logic. I love logic. I loved it in high school. I loved it in college. I've been really excited for my daughter to get old enough for us to delve into it a little bit. So I got a bunch of logic books from the library and I narrowed them down to 3. So the first one is Big Ideas for Curious Minds. This is for ages 8 to 10, but honestly, you could go up to 12 and 13-year-olds easily with this. The next book I got is DK, What's the Point of Philosophy? This does not have a specific age assigned to it. However, I would definitely say ages 8 to 12 would be appropriate. And the third and last book I'm looking at is DK, Children's Book of Philosophy. And this is for ages 9 to 12. I'm going to go through these 3 books with a fine-tooth comb to see which one of these I want to use for my daughter for next year. All right, the next topic is mental health. If you have been around my channel for a while, you know mental health is a really big thing in our homeschool and in our home. I recently put out a video on all the mindfulness curriculum and resources that we use in our home. If you're interested, go check that out. But in addition to everything listed in in that video, we currently have been doing Big Life Journal, which is for ages 7 to 10. We do this journal in conjunction with the lesson plans and the podcast kits, which is great. So when she finishes this, they have another book for ages 11 plus. I don't believe it has a podcast that goes along with it, but it does have lesson plans and a growth mindset kit for teens. So that's definitely an option for mental health. The next option that I'm looking at is from a little Etsy shop called Forest Rain Wander. I really enjoy her curriculum. We did our Halloween curriculum. We did a Grinch unit study curriculum. I like the way that she sets it up. I like her format and style. And she has a mindfulness curriculum that I'm really interested in. The best part about this curriculum is that it's for ages 3 to 13. So I can incorporate my son into this as well, which is something that I really like doing. Let's go on to French and history briefly. My mother teaches both of those subjects. She teaches history because she loves history and she just makes a lot of fun for my daughter. She also teaches my daughter French. If you've been around for a while, you may know that my mom went to school to be a French professor where she met my father, who was going to the same college. He's originally from Switzerland and French is his native language. They both speak French fluently, so it made sense for my mom to teach my daughter French. I'll be doing a video with my mom where she'll be talking about the French curriculum that she'll be using next year, as well as a history curriculum. And my daughter will be doing ancient history next year. All right, guys, I know that was a long video. Thank you so much for sticking by. I hope this was helpful or informative for you. If you guys have any recommendations or any comments about anything I've talked about, please let me know. In my world geography video, I had so much good feedback and I actually ended up supplementing my geography curriculum with some of those suggestions. It's just one of the reasons that I just love this community. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.